Well, congratulations to your winner, Kevin Harvick. It was a heck of a race, and I was so thrilled to finally see the Bristol race get in this evening. The race resumed around 5 o'clock or so, maybe a little before that, and it was great racing overall. The bottom groove was definitely working for some people, but with others, it's kind of a little iffy. It looked like throughout the night, or the evening to be exact, a lot of the people started using the top groove more, and that started to come in and play a big factor in it as well. You saw at the beginning that JGR was dominant. You had Kyle Busch that started on the in first place when the race started because he was leading at the time of the rain delay, and he was out there just logging laps. I mean, it was a very dominant performance. Chase Elliott, he fell back in a little bit in the beginning, and he tried to work his way back up, but it didn't really work out. We'll talk about what happened to him later. But JGR was basically dominant. You had Kyle Busch up there, Carl Edwards up there sometimes, as well as Martin Truex Jr. They were, battling for the lead. You also had Ryan Blaney was up there as well, which was very nice to see. You did have some wrecks. You had I believe it was Regan Smith. He got one of the cautions, but there were two big wrecks that definitely did play a very key role in the race. First, Kyle Busch was leading, and on one of the restarts, Kevin Harvick, who started to get a lot of his power in the middle of the race, he and Kyle Busch were definitely battling out really hard. Kevin Harvick worked his way up to Kyle Busch, and Kevin Harvick passed him. Kyle Busch fell back. We kind of thought that there was some problem with him, and eventually there was. His rear end housing or something else was wrong with the car, and he spun. I thought it was maybe going to be a single car spin. He did keep it off the wall, but unfortunately when Kyle Busch spun, I guess filling in for Michael Annett, Justin Allgaier was down below, and he clobbered Kyle Busch. His car went up and it hit, I believe, Martin Truex Jr. and Kyle Larson, who was actually doing pretty well. So you no longer did have Kyle Busch. He was out of the race. You had Kurt Busch on one of the restarts was doing very great as well. So you had Kurt Busch, Keselowski, and Logano. And it was Logano and Keselowski and Kurt Busch battling for the lead. Unfortunately, that didn't work out either, as Kurt Busch, which it seemed like a problem corner for many people, was out of turn 2. Kurt Busch got loose out of turn 2, and it collected Keselowski, as well as, Logano missed it, so we couldn't count him, but it collected Keselowski and Kurt Busch, who spun on to the near the pit wall. Also, it spun Kenseth, who got turned by Chase Elliott, and Ryan Blaney, not really using brakes, slammed right into Kenseth as well. And I believe Brian Scott was collected too. So now you didn't really have many players in the race. You still had Logano and Kevin Harvick were going at it after that, which again, Kevin Harvick was really prevailing on the top. He would use the different line that the leader was doing. If, say, Logano went to the bottom, Kevin Harvick would go to the middle, top, and then arch it in. If Logano went to the top and arch it in, Kevin Harvick would use the bottom. They played cat and mouse like that for a little while until you had other cautions as well. But Kevin Harvick was pretty dominant. He got past Logano and was logging laps as well. Very great performance tonight by Kevin Harvick. Soon after that, you did have a little bunch up with Logano. His car was kind of not handling very well. So after pit stops from one caution, it was Kevin Harvick, and Ricky Stenhouse was working his way up to there as well. Also, Chris Buescher, again, trying to get in that chase, he was doing great. I did not expect it from him, but of course with Roush put a lot of focus on him, he did great. He was in the top 5, top 10 most of the day, and he was a great contender. But on one of the last restarts, it was Kevin Harvick and Ricky Stenhouse. Stenhouse was close to him, but unfortunately did not prevail against Kevin Harvick, and Kevin Harvick was slicing and dicing through the lap field, and another performance again by Kevin Harvick, which was great. He hasn't won since Phoenix, so it was great to see him get a win. A very unique thing happened tonight, which I think is great, but a very nice thing that I saw tonight was at the end. When Kevin Harvick won, he stopped near Tony Stewart and talked to him on the track. Originally the plan was going to have, Tony Stewart ride in the passenger side window of Kevin Harvick. Well, that didn't happen, so Kevin Harvick went to the start-finish line and Tony Stewart followed him as well. And while Kevin Harvick was doing his burnout, Tony Stewart started to do burnouts right next to him. It was a very great sight. I don't think you'll ever see that for a while, a long time. It was a very historic thing to see owner and driver doing both burnouts. Of course, Tony Stewart's last time at Bristol. All in all, great race, you know. Congratulations to Kevin Harvick winning almost a 24-hour, well, you can call it a 24-hour race at Bristol. Very great racing. Happy to see the bottom line was working again. You did see some bump and runs and multi-groove racing, which was very fun to see. And I was very, very happy with how the racing has gotten to be with that. But this is the Sprint Cup race review, a day later than I expected it. But thank you for watching, and I will be here next week with Michigan. See you guys later, and thank you for watching.